All right. This is Nostrovini, or intellectual Nostrovini with his glasses on, and we're going to talk about the African American meets the uh, Pakistani Ugandan Pakistani Muslim Ugandan Jew hater. There you go. Elizabeth died in the so-called Pocahontas by our great president, who cheated on her thing, saying she was half Cochise, and she made even a cookbook about Indian and American Indian, Native American food. Met the guy, the rich guy from Uganda, who claims he's African and claims he was Pakistani, Asian, and Ugandan, and anything else up in the rest. Both are phonies in order to get into college because he didn't have quite the credentials to do it. In other words, our future mayor, who failed the test, is an idiot. Well, he's a communist, isn't he? And he can't make the connection between killing Jews and saying to the river to the sea. It doesn't connect in his little mind. Of course, he was an old rapper. He was a rapper for quite a while. He was subsidized by his rich parents, who exploited the Africans in Uganda. Anyway, what a guy. I, if there's a murder going on in the city, I don't know. Apparently, the newest thing for the ladies to do to the menzies, who there's a lot of hostile women out there, and what they do is they get a guy, which they call as a lap dog, and he'll put their furniture together. That's their first date. He puts the furniture together, and then she kicks him out. If you go on a first date with a girl and you build her a furniture, that's a boyfriend thing to do. You should at least do a girlfriend thing to do and do, you know what I mean? Yada yada yada. But they ain't gonna do that. What they're gonna do is get some guy to build them a thing. A lesbian would do that. Only a man hater would do it. Or if you're not a lesbian at this point, you should be a lesbian. Spare men a lot of trouble. This is the main reason you have a situation where men are no longer having sex with women. They're very hostile. Why should you go out with a psychopath that wants to turn you into a furniture builder and a bodyguard? You know, it's a disgrace. Women, you're disgrace. Bodyguard. Nice build, nice play on words. These babies are good looking, but one thing that furniture is going to stay, it's going to stay nice. You, my dear, in 10 years, gravity's going to take its toll. So yeah, milk it while you can, honey. Milk it while you can. TSA. Or an extremist Marxist Palestinian Jew hater wants to make this the trans Jan jammy. In other words, you can come into this country behind your parents' back, get forced sex change operations by uh, quacks, and not be able to have babies for the rest of your life. It's it's a criminal. This is pubescent kids. These guys are crazy. They're nutsy. They want to essentially fix kids, so they fix for life. Kids can't make that decision, and the parents shouldn't either. Ah, but luckily, Mr. Trump is going to stop it right in its tracks. This mass castration of children not going to work. Not going to go on. Free and queasy. Yeah, it makes me queasy just thinking about what they can try to do to children. Biden stumbles through bar. Yeah, he had came to do a speech, and he was incoherent as much as he could. Some people would say, "Look, the man's half dead. Let him go." Hey, why don't you let him go? He's just almost destroyed the country. He's responsible for rapes and murders and the deaths of millions, or the death of millions in the future if things go get corrected. Thank God for ICE putting these people away. Thank God for Donald Trump, the greatest president ever. The greatest president ever. Mount Rushmore, Donnie Trump. Pushing for a deal. Biden stumbles through bar. Might be over for Stern. Yeah. Might be over for Stern. Stern is going to be canceled too. All these guys are not making a profit. They sold out to the system, the Biden system. The liberal dictatorship is over. Jimmy Kimmel, Stephen Colbert, Howard Stern, all these shows for the government, the left-wing fascists, they're all going out of business. America's returning to its Ronald Reagan roots. In fact, it's returning to Trumpism, populist Trumpism. That's right. It's a glorious day. Pushing for a deal. Hey, Trump is trying to make a deal with the Russians to stop killing Ukrainians. He's going to do it. He'll stop that war by tariffs. He's going to impose a lot of tariffs on the Russians, make the Red Chinese and the Indians not buy gas from the Russians. Russian war machine will collapse. Ghost in the machine. You know how disgraceful this is? The AIE of a robot of a child who was murdered by a crazy person for gun control. You're not going to take our guns away by artificially. Oops, somebody's. Can you get that, please? Okay, that's I don't know who that is. We'll find out. There we go. So it's not going to yeah. Not only is he linked to the Hamas, he's linked to North Korea. This guy's a real prize, the real communist prize. He's going to turn this into a Soviet state. That ain't going to work, Bernie Sanders. The Soviet state of New York is not going to work. The Democrats have all turned demonic now. The UK is awakening. UK knows the danger of the one world government. They have fallen. It's illegal to say that there's something called an illegal. Half of Islam is coming to invading England. What they want to do is turn the country is being invaded by Muslim armies of Muslim rapists. But the English are a tough breed. They're fighting back. They don't have the Statute of Limit. They don't have the Second Amendment rights, and they don't have freedom of speech like we do. But they're feisty little Englishmen, and they'll fight back. I have faith in them that they'll overthrow the liberal government. Gen Z cookie hookie. Yeah. Gen Z cookie hookie hookie. Yeah. You know what they will? They're very sensitive. They have to like rest. Tell the boss, hey, I got to rest. I got to go home. And they announce it. No, they're gonna get fired. They're gonna be raised by robots, thank God. That's when I favor the robots. Yeah, New York's peak of the Devil's Den, where they had all kinds of satanic situations there, and present pictures of Mr. Clinton in a dress, and all kinds of things, sinister things, eyes wide shut things. But no Trumpy, because Trumpy was never in those bodies. Trumpy knew that and has been working on them for years to overthrow this cult that Hillary Clinton is probably involved in. January 6th, debunks debunk. Let's see. New York peak at Devil's Den, January 6th debunk. They did, they tried to say that Trump tried to overthrow the government. He did not. He was trying to calm down the government. And there was a little bit of a altercation at the Capitol. But they weren't overthrowing the government. They were trying to save the city from a stolen election. Bloody big balls. Bloody big balls. Part of the Doge thing of getting rid of all the government waste. He tried to save a woman from a mob of thugs, street thugs. What a brave kid. What a kid. The forces of darkness are arising, but the forces of light will destroy them. Eating brutal Gaza occupation. The Israelis have to go into Gaza and clean out that rat's nest. And it's going to be bloody. It's urban fighting. What could we do? The Israelis will try their best not to kill the civilian population because that's the way they are. They're humans. Loving and sphere of food, socialist party. Yeah, it's unbelievable. The Democrats have turned commie, disarmed. Yeah, They want to disarm. But basically, they're saying people are not being killed by guns anymore. Oh, it's gone right down. They're being killed by machete. Well, how you doing? I'm there to do this. I'll be with you. And let's see. My aides have come to aid me, but back to back quarter eight city. We're going to fall into the sea. It's Sodom and Gomorrah out there. It's the end times. The Old Testament God's over here, and he's got bad name. He'll kill the good with the evil, but the good will go to heaven while the evil will burn in hell. Ooh, yeah. Show a face in yeah, the faithful. Look, he's the most corrupt. Adam's the most corrupt mayor in the world in his city's history. No, and from top to bottom, the fire chiefs, the police chiefs, the school chancellors, all cheating and robbing. But he's not a commie. Oh, he's a left winger, but not a commie. Oy, and not a Jew hater. All gains that we've made in terms of even when the moderate atoms have gone into beating crime a little bit, are going to go away under the Soviet uh, dictatorship of Zoom. Telsa was put on TNS by Biden. See what you're in trouble, Biden. Payback is a bitch. Out there, real. I wouldn't blame us. We were invaded by aliens. And also, we gonna have a nuclear factory, Chernobyl on Mars. Maybe missiles. Let's go Spaceballs. Okay, let's see. Max to the minimum. Maximum danger damage to the city. I'll tell you that. Wanted her comeuppance, the comeuppance of all those people who like those NBA players who big picking on that poor white girl, the talented white girl who's the only girl in the WNBA, but what do they call it, who can make a basket. Judge and Fury. Yeah, you gotta all the Biden judges and the Obama judges have to be disbarred. Deli are quite affordable. The only field foods that's affordable in the city are deli food, and they were expensive. $10 a meal. You used to be could get a sandwich for $5. Yeah, hoax was all team done. Let's see what's going on here. Like stars left in the weather on the vine. Yeah, they're all gonna go out. It's a dying breed. The talk show host. Tech up and next AOL for 5 years. No, because it's going to turn blue collar. That's what's going to happen. The AOL will not be that bad. A lot of commies will lay out of jobs. These left-wing upper middle class bastards. Hers gets Gerald with a pen. I don't know. I think it's a killer disguises. This woman, man, I don't know what's going on there. Disguises herself as a man. She disguises herself as a woman. She says he, a they, and oh, and thou. But she's getting in trouble. She's going to be in jail by the Trumpy of our law enforcement organization. Works on Madam. Yeah, they want to give the Epstein's Girl Friday more time. But we have to look at the bigger picture. We have to not pardon her, but let her out after a while, as long as she gives up all those rich billionaire perverts of the Democratic persuasion. Unbearable. It's all a song about bearable. The whole thing is unbearable. The lefties step up. Let's see. Linguism is a threat to all. Linguism is a threat to all. Now, look, they used the Biden administration, the government, to go after the best man who ever lived, Mr. Donald J. Trump. The Dems clown show. The Dems, it's a clown show. It's a joke. It's a joke. And the youthful and youthful people, they just got out of their mommy's house and they want to be taken care of by the government now. But there's a price to pay, my communist friends. It's called you'll never be a winner. UK selling hot from the UK is selling out the Hong Kong because you can't say anything on the Chinese. New York's pot coming. Yes, they got a pot my pet come in. The whole place smells like a big pot den. Can't problem is blame game. Not blaming herself. She blames maybe it's the drinking. Yeah. Sorry, infamous Don Sansa's firm. That's right. Danny boy. Oh. Darius demands to end all to aid custodial captives are unacceptable. We can't allow Hamas to exist in Gaza. That means leveling Gaza and just getting all those people out of there for at least 10 years. That's what we're going to do. Bubba moves to see all of Gaza. That's a glorious thing. Bubba don't like his people being murdered. Smell a bit fishy? Yeah, Gazans do smell a bit fishy. They're nearly not being starved to death. They're starving themselves. It's they're fasting. Instant battle behind bars. Uh, this guy he killed his boyfriend, and when they get passionate with his husband. Women brawl with yeah. There's more brawls, real brawls going on in the rafters between the women than in the NBA. That's real brawls. Tom Puttin's a war machine. Tom's putting down from this machine. Yeah, busted in fashion. Yeah, we're at the mercy of a bunch of fascistas. Nukes on the moon. We're gonna have nukes on the moon. Nukes on the moon. Boom, 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 boom. And killed by bacteria surge in Gulf. Is this just the end times? Are we gonna be killed by bacteria? A Catholic Woodstock. Hey, look, I'm a Catholic and a Protestant. I think the Catholic Church has a little too much of the Woodstock going in the wrong stock. Declan Scott vows to ticket. Oh yeah, this girl, she's not getting laid. She's getting a little man. So she's gonna give tickets to everybody. She's a gorgeous woman. How come she's not getting laid? I don't know. She must be difficult. Freebie girl for AOC, but yeah. Yeah, he's getting fat. Either that, she's pregnant. Either way, he's responsible for her losing her figure. AOC is getting chunky. Sydney Sweeney has her great genes. She has the greatest genes in the world. Like this, they're saying it's the second coming of the Third Reich because the girl has nice genes. What the hell's wrong with you? Be proud and be blonde. Bold and blonde and beautiful. Crypto kidnap scheme. They're gonna let these guys. They kidnap somebody because they're millionaires. They torturing other millionaires to get their codes for the crypto codes. What the hell? These guys are guilty. There's something out of a movie. Must burn book. Musk. Yeah, but he gets in trouble with his friends. He's like, because he's the richest man in the world. He's a little autistic, but I love the man anyway. Pepper's massacre. There's a massacre going on in Syria. But we'll bomb those bastards. Zionism Israel obsession. Zionism is trying to liberate Palestine from Jews. Cinematic brawls. Cinematic brawls. Yeah, they're trying to make us watch terrible movies. Flap over gym fee. Yeah. Okay. All done. Here we are. Bum, 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 bum. Bum, 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 bum. Bum, bum.